So today we will be talking about improvisation in the professional theater. So our objectives today, we as a class will learn the different stock characters in Commedia dell'arte and play some games involving their names and meanings. And after today, I want you to be able to say, I will be able to identify the different characters in Commedia dell'arte after I'm given a verbal description. So, I know y'all are like, what's Commedia dell'arte? So, first we're going to watch this short clip. Have any of y'all seen Whose Line Is It Anyway? It is this game show where people just do improv, and it's really, really funny. So we're going to watch a clip from that.
Uh-oh, no Wi-Fi at your in-laws' house? It's switching time. And now, it's Netflix time. Watch Netflix offline. Switch to Chromebook.
Party quirks. This game, Brad, going to be hosting a party. And Wayne, Colin, and Ryan are going to be the guests of the party, but each of them has a strange quirk or identity. You're looking at the envelopes the first time they've seen these. And what Brad has to do is guess what those are. So I want to come out here and get ready for the party. And Wayne, Colin, and Ryan, you'll line up over there, and I'll bring you in one at a time with the doorbell. Brad, whenever you're ready, go ahead and start the party.
Yeah, I'm just reeling from the whole ginger spice thing. I don't know. Oh, hold on, I gotta go. I'm throwing a party. Hey, welcome to the party. Cheese puffs, right over there. Hopefully my other guests will show up. Maybe I should turn on the music. Whoa, hey! Calm down! Come on in.
All right.
Try the dip. Great. Try the Cheetos. That's my final guest. I only invited her. Hi!
Thanks for inviting me.
Oh. Come on in.
Did you hear something?
No, not that I have to come on.
I guess I'm just all...
I'd like you to meet my friend. This is Dances of the World. I'm sure you've met before.
Not quite, but keep on going.
All right, Charleston. Now you're here, all the dances of the universe.
Let's close out these, the 20th century. Look out!
Stop, Dan.
No, not even close.
You're not the guy from the ABC Sports Agony Defeat thing, are you?
Let's close out these deer that keeps running the race.
Oh. Well, I guess it's just me and the gazelle.
I'll give you the ball. Let's go, the deer.
So, after watching this video, I have a question. Why do you think improv is important? So y'all can turn amongst yourselves and discuss what place you think improv has.
I think maybe it helps with, like, if actors can do improv, then it helps with being able to actually learn lines, because if they can think quicker on their feet, like if they were to mess up, or even if, like, they know they have to memorize lines, if they know they can make something up on their own, then they're a little bit more confident in, like, what they can do when they have a script.
And I have a follow-up question. Do you think improvisation can be more than just something fun? In the video, we watched him just playing games and having a laugh. And why is that?
I've seen it used before as, like, ways to get students to, like, act certain emotions or certain, so it can help with the different characteristics that you have to showcase while you're on stage.
Exactly. So improv is important because it helps you get out of sticky situations. So if you're on stage and you have no idea what your line is, even though you've been rehearsing and you're just standing there and you're like, if you have some training in improv and you know how to think on your feet, then you're not going to just be standing there without any idea of what to do. One time my brother was in a play and he had no idea what to say, so he said, "How about them Cowboys?" Which wasn't, he had no improv training, wasn't the right thing to say, kind of ruined, the 16th century play that he was in. So learning improv can help you get out of situations like that. It also gives you confidence. Improv is typically one of those fundamental things that you just start out as. Like you go into an acting class and the first thing that you do is improv. So it helps you gain confidence to know exactly what to do on stage, how to really get comfortable as an actor or an actress. And it just kind of helps all together, and people are always like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to my improv class," and that's their first exposure to acting. It also is just fun. Like you saw them do on the game show, that show is hilarious. They're having so much fun, everyone's laughing, the audience is having a great time, and it's just a way to really get yourselves out there and to just play games even if you have no idea what you're doing. And it also helps you learn body language. When I was in Scotland, there was an improv troupe that came and performed for us, and they had to come up with a song after we just gave them a title, which was IKEA the Musical. And we saw them, and they never sang over each other, but it's because one of them would slightly move, and that meant that it was their turn to sing. So nobody else sang, but you couldn't really see, it was so subtle. But just picking up on that body language is how they really learned that, okay, it's their turn, I can't sing over them, this is how this is gonna work. And they had a really good, camaraderie together as they did this, just because they knew each other's body language. So why is it important to be able to read body language both on stage and in real life?
Body language tells you someone's attitude towards what task they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I know in softball, whenever we don't like something the coach tells us to do, we're just like, oh my God. So
Yeah.
that's what we focus on a lot, making sure our body language isn't bad, because then we get in trouble for it.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you see someone walking up to you like this, you know that they're mad. You know that they're angry. You can see emotions based on body language. And on stage, if you do mess up on your lines and someone needs to improv, you have to make clear eye contact, know exactly what's going to happen, who's going to take the lead, what's going to go on there. So now I want to talk to you about Commedia dell'arte. Commedia is a popular comedy in Italy in the 16th through 18th centuries. It's based on stock characters, and actors adapted their comic dialogue and action according to a few basic plots and to topical issues. So that's a lot of words. Let me break it down for you guys. Basically, what would happen is there were actors who were a part of the Commedia troupes. One actor was a specific stock character, and they each had their own specific stock characters, and what would happen is they would be put into a random scene, and they would have to play as those stock characters, no matter what scene it was. But they each had to play one specific person. So if I were to say, you're gonna play the jock, you're gonna play the cheerleader, you're gonna play the band nerd. Now I give you a scene, you're in detention. You each have to act as your character, but you're in detention. Now I say, oh, you're in the lunchroom. You each act as your specific character, but now you're in a lunchroom. So they were a professional troupe, and they would just go around and people would come and watch it, and it was hilarious. These people were just acting as these characters in all these different types of situations, and this was a professional thing. It wasn't what we see today where everyone's just laughing and it's a random improv is fun, let's go play games. It was their profession. Going and playing as these stock characters, going around and doing everything that, everyone wanted to watch them as they did these stock characters. So now I want to teach you about the different stock characters, and I'm about to look really foolish, so enjoy this. So we have those that were called the Zani, which were kind of the town people, lower class, and they acted like complete fools. So one thing about each stock character is they each led with a different gesture. They each walked a certain way. So our Zani, their costumes made them look like birds. And so whenever they walked around, they wouldn't even have to say one line. They usually didn't have lines, but they wouldn't have to say anything before the audience knew who they were because of how they walked and how they acted. So the Zani, they led with their nose, they turned like this, and they walked with their knees up, so they would go like this. And everyone knew who they were, and they would pretty much just wreak havoc and go around and mess with people. And then Pantalone. Pantalone is the greedy and old man. So he hunched his shoulders, walked like this, had his money bag, was angry at people, and he was a miser. He tried to get all the money from people, and that's all he really cared about, and then he was just grumpy and he would yell at people. And we have El Dottore, who's the doctor. He walks like this and says a bunch of facts that actually make no sense, but he just tries to convince people that he knows absolutely everything, but everything that he says is super idiotic. Then there's Arlecchino, or Harlequin, who is the jester. He's a nuisance. So he pretty much goes and messes with people, but he walks like this with his hips and jumps from side to side. And we have Capitano. So Capitano is the captain. His traits, egotism and cowardice. So he walks around messing with his mustache, drawing his sword, fighting, and then a mouse comes along, and he runs away because he's a coward, even though he acts like he's some big and bad captain. And we have Columbine, who's in love with everyone, although she is the voice of reason. She's also a nag, but she'll walk around with her fan, flirting kind of with everyone. They kind of portrayed all women in the same way at this time in theater. Women didn't really have a voice yet, so she's very similar to Ruffiana, who is the flirt, kind of pulls her shirts down, walks with her hips, and looks at people and tries to seduce people. And Scapino is the acrobat. In random lines, he just does a cartwheel, does a roll on the ground, which I'm not gonna do, but that's just kind of what what he does. And Tristano and Isabella, these are the lovers. They walk like this towards each other. They are so in love, but then they turn their backs and are disgusted with each other, absolutely hate each other. I know people who are like that. And one of the big classifiers for all of these characters is a mask. So not only is it their body language that lets the audience know who exactly each stock character is, it is the fact that they are wearing masks, and they each have a different character mask, but we will talk about that in more depth in a later class. So now I want us to all stand up. So now we are going to walk around as each of the characters. So first, we have the Zani. So they lead with their nose, so pull out your nose. They look around like this. They walk with their knees. Look around like this. Now we have Pantalone. Scrunch up your shoulders. Walk around like this. Grab your money bag. And El Dottore. Ho, ho, ho. I know everything. I'm fat and idiotic. And Arlecchino. He walks like this. And he jumps to the side. And Capitano. Pull up your mustache. A mouse comes along. Oh! And now we have Columbine. And she's in love with everyone. And Ruffiana pulls down her shirt. And Scapino, the acrobat. I'm not going to do a cartwheel, but if y'all just feel really desire to do one, go for it. And Tristano and Isabella, they're so in love. and then their turn. Okay, so these are all of the stock characters. So we took a walk. Why would it be important to know your character's leading action? So the Zani's, their leading action was their nose and walking around like this. And Tristano and Isabella, their leading action was being so in love, but then turning and gagging, because they really just hate each other. So why is it important to know these? And y'all can sit down if you want.
Because that's how they like portray the characters. That's how the audience will know who they're trying to get at. If they don't know what they're doing, then nobody's gonna know what they are.
Exactly, yes. Now we're going to play another game. So we're going to play charades. So I have in here a list of all the stock characters. Each of you are going to draw one, see what it is. So I'm going to draw one first. Okay, so I have my stock character, and I'm going to do it, and y'all have to tell me which stock character I am portraying. Okay, ready? Harlequin. There you go. Becca's turn. Here you go.
Oh gosh. Ruffiana?
No,
Oh, the
what else did she do? Yeah, she
Combination.
She did the
Good.
band.
Okay.
Oh, I think, I'm not sure.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Here. Let me have.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Pantalone?
Yes. I don't remember this one. Well, if you want to know everything. Okay? You put it back in. Okay. Capitano, good.
Oh, Tristiano.
Tristano and Isabella. Ruffiana. Okay. And you can put those up. Put them back in here. Great. So we're learning about this, and this happened in 16th through 18th Italy. Professional troops. We don't have people do this anymore. So why is it important to learn about it? What's the purpose of sitting here learning about Commedia dell'arte? What place does it have in our modern world? What are some ideas?
I think it's like the history of what we enjoy watching every day.
Kind of like improvisation, like we may not do that specific thing now, but there's so many other things we do with improv, and that's kind of like where it started and where you can see a good example of what improv really is.
Yes. And also, have you ever seen Suicide Squad? You know of Harley Quinn? Yeah. Sounds a lot like Harlequin, who is a nuisance, who is someone who goes around and kind of ruins everything. They even wear the same costume, same color costume, not the same exact costume, you know, but the same color scheme of the costume. So we take the characters from 16th through 18th century Italy, and we use them today to make movies. And also, so there was this big shift in what Commedia was in the 18th century. It was this, you know, improvisation, troops going around, doing all this stuff, but then it kind of shifted into playwrights were taking these stock characters and writing plays around them. So then it was something that was scripted rather than improvisation, which people say kind of was the demise of Commedia dell'arte. But now there are plays that we can perform. The school that I went to high school with this year is doing one called Company of Wayward Saints, which has all of the stock characters, and they're in the play, they're performing in the troops, and they're like, and at one part they're not the characters, but then they start performing and they are the characters. So we use it today in plays that we perform, even if it's not the exact same thing, we're using these characters still. And it's also, like I said earlier, if I were to say that you're the jock, you're the cheerleader, you're the band nerd, we use the kind of archetypes that they have. And I mean, all through different art forms. In English, we have our archetypes. We have the, you know, the damsel in distress and everything like that. So we use stock characters in all areas. So that's why it's important to know about the stock characters, know what place, you know, we all know that old man who's really grumpy and talks about money all the time. We all know, you know, the person who is the flirt, like these stock characters mean something. They're not just characters, these are people that we know. And this, we can translate that into everything that we do. So now we're going to have a little quiz, which is boring, but
Use our notes.
I would prefer you not. I have a word bank at the bottom of each of them.
So do you just put like question number 1 and the answer?
So which stock characters are known as the lovers who actually hate each other? Choose 2. Which character is the braggart soldier who is actually a coward? Which character is known as the know-it-all who actually doesn't know anything? Which stock character is known as the jester, the nuisance? Which stock character is known as the grumpy old miser? Which stock character is known as the flirt? Which character is known as the voice of reason who is also in love with everyone? which character is known as the clown? The people who are kind of the lower class. Okay, so now I'm going to give you each a sticky note. And on this, I want you to write which character you think would be the most fun to play and why. I'll share first. I think it would be the most fun to play El Dottore, just because he's so ridiculous and he walks around, and this would be fun to just walk around and act like I know everything and just get to have this bumbling voice. What about you?
I said Harlequin, because he gets to like joke around and mess with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I said Scapino.
Scapino?
Because I think it'd be cool to be acrobatic all the time.
Mm-hmm. And in a lot of plays, Scapino is Harlequin's right-hand man.
I said Isabella because I think it's really funny to act like you're in love, but in reality you're just like, this is gross, so why am I even here?
Mm-hmm. In a lot of the plays, they have like in Company of Wayward Saints, they have Isabella and Tristano playing Adam and Eve. And so they're sitting here acting like they're in love, and then, you know, the entire story is made up because they are like messed up because they can't stop arguing with each other. So it kind of brings a lot of humor in that. Okay, so that is all I have for you today. I will take your quizzes from you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. 'Tis it.